So there's big moves in the markets today as quantum stocks have rebounded by 8%, leaving investors asking, is this just short-term volatility or are we seeing signs of a reversal, and is this real? Well, let's get into it. I'm going to break down kind of this rally and see what we can analyze, what's driving some of this surge. We'll look at the technicals and what might be coming next. So if we head over to our quantum AI stock list over here, you can see Rigetti was leading the way, up 16.8%, QBTS up 7%, ARQQ at 6.6%, and then QSI at 4%, along with QUBT up 3%. The one that was lagging a little bit there, you can see IBM was down, Google down just a little bit under 1%, and then IONQ was down about 1%. IONQ was the one that was up while the rest of some of the quantum stocks were down. It's at this consolidation phase where it's holding at $26. They were speaking at CES, that event that I decided to go to kind of at the last second, and we went to Las Vegas. I got to get in for this experience that I was not expecting, where we got free food, we got a free pass, all because of you guys subscribing. So make sure to subscribe to the channel. If you're watching, you're getting value out of seeing some of these companies, some of these stocks at this time in the market. So when we went to CES, IONQ is one of the main companies that was there. They were there with IBM. We got to talk to IBM, Microsoft as well, and they were talking about quantum computing and really pretty optimistic about the future, more optimistic than what Jensen had laid out in the comments. You can see here on the chart, they're at this level here where they're kind of consolidating after this recent sell-off. The trend overall is looking upwards since really that $7.50 mark back here. You can see that was quite the drop we recently saw, and if this continues up, I mean, there's less risk now getting in than, you know, had you bought right up here anticipating it to continue up right in that perfect trend that we saw. Now we got this larger trend. Now when we look at Rigetti stock, it's up 17%, which isn't just it's not a little recovery. I mean, that's significant, especially because last time when we had this big sell-off, this was a Fed announcement, and we have a big Fed announcement. Let me just see if it was it Wednesday or Thursday? Let's see. Oh, inflation report comes out on Wednesday. So that's a big deal, right? So we'll be tuning in live to check that interest or that inflation report. And if you want to stay up to date with that, do consider subscribing. Right now, you can see Rigetti stock is at this key level. It pushed up what was 20 something percent up to $8.46 before selling back down here. Now it's almost looking similar to what happened last time we saw the Fed announcement. This Fed announcement drove the stock down from really what was $12 a share down to about $7 or $6 a share before Rigetti rallied about 230% just in about 17 days. Now, I'm not saying the same thing is going to happen, but to see that bounce, we kind of laid this out, right? The perspective yesterday was we're at this previous resistance right here. If it's going to stay bullish or if it's going to continue long term, we'd like to see it push up and actually validate that previous resistance. It did validate that previous resistance. Now we got to say, okay, outside the technicals, starting to see maybe a little bit of reversal. And let's see if it continues to push up. One thing we'll be watching very closely here is you can see it's when it's bearish, it's below this EMA, right? This blue line. When it's bullish, it pushes up above that blue line. You can see when it is bullish, it stays above that EMA and that SMA. When it was bearish, it pushed below. Recently, now it pushed above that EMA. We'll see if it holds above the EMA. If it does, next level will be that SMA to push through. But here's the perspective on Rigetti, right? A lot of people say Rigetti is just so overvalued, or there's too much hype around the quantum computing space and all these things. Part of the reason why I went to CES to go talk to these companies firsthand and ask the questions right in front of them, to ask them about, hey, What's the public perception? How far, why does the public not accept quantum? Why is it not being, what are they seeing that we're not understanding? And they said, well, quantum computing is being used right now. And not only is it being used right now, they're shipping quantum computing. They have hundreds of research facilities in the US for quantum computing. And they're solving problems right now using quantum computing paired with GPUs. So it's not like only QPUs, they're pairing them with GPUs. And in that instance, they could take some data, even AI, to run it through an extremely fast quantum computer, let's say, to look at a chemical reaction on the ionic level or the atomic level, or look at a how a battery is reacting. They did this for the lithium ion battery, down to that chemical level or that ionic level, to see how they could optimize a battery. They did that, and within 6 months, they ran about 15 years worth of data through, and this was an IBM announcement, I believe, through the quantum computer, and it solved and increased the efficiency of the lithium battery by 70%. And so it's being used right now. The company that's using it for, like, you could look at Amgen, they're using it to learn peptide protein binding, which, if they could figure that out, there's multiple cancers. The reason they don't have vaccines is because they don't know how to bind those proteins, those peptides. And if they know how, then they could potentially have a cure, right? That's groundbreaking stuff that takes millions of data points down to just a few options for them to research. And that's what the quantum computing does, that the GPUs just simply don't do solely on their own. But quantum computing does need GPUs. That's why I'm still bullish on NVIDIA and some of the other companies in the space. Now, when we look at outside of the technicals here, and we look at some of the news, we have to first kind of look, because you're buying what could be with the quantum computing. The revenue isn't there. However, when I talked with some of the executives of these companies at CES, they mentioned, hey, we're about to see a surprise in revenue. They said, I think investors are going to be surprised by how much quantum computing is evolving in the revenue space. And the one I went to was Quantum Means Business. So they talked all the nitty-gritty technical stuff for sure, but they also talked about the revenue and where they could see it going. And if you want that full coverage, it's on the channel. And so you can see that quantum computing stocks have sold off recently. You could see there was some Jensen comments about 10 to 15 or 20 years. But what we've seen recently today is indicating more of what could be a reversal. And so it's two ways right now. When we look at, you see, NVIDIA and quantum computers, when you look at the tech advancement, it becomes exponential. They need tech to be able to combat some of what is going to be a rapid evolution of the human interaction and how we behave into what will be AI and what will be tech, and how much, like the currency, for example, that is going to be big deal, knowing that we have the computing to be able to have cybersecurity for AI, have the ability to fight. There's electronic or technological warfare that is obviously something that's going to happen and is already happening in the world. So, you can see there's some, Google Willow was that big announcement that came out. So Google Willow chip. And you can see nothing had anything to do with quantum computing stocks with that Willow chip. I don't know that that's actually true. I think we did see that have something to do with the quantum computing stocks. And I don't know if I can go into this. I see a cat. I don't know. And I see some high level overview. So I don't know here. Microsoft launches Quantum Ready program to propel business into quantum era. Yeah, I believe it. Microsoft was just there, and I got to talk with one of their executives. Microsoft unveils Quantum Ready program for business quantum integration. 12% of organizations can assess quantum opportunities. Microsoft partners with American Physical Society for 2025 Quantum Initiative. Program offers hybrid applications to provide immediate business value. So this is the key that we kind of have been talking about. All right, we have these quantum computers. People are saying, oh, they look overvalued, or look on this look at their financials, Will. Like, just because you see a spike up recently doesn't mean, it's not just going to keep tanking. I get it. But one of the things that is the catalyst for any of these companies is that they are plugged into a business. And you can see that these initiatives are fairly focused on you got workshops, okay? You got skilling programs aimed to resolve quantum skill crisis impacting innovation, quantum safety, but also hybrid applications to provide immediate business value. I can tell you, I'm even looking at quantum computers. There's millions and millions of data points on the markets every day. The tool that I'm building right now is a tool that allows us to take those millions and millions of data points. I don't know if this is the right Figma. I already started coding it, so there's actually some use case. Yeah, it is. The tool I'm building right now could take, rather than looking at a chart in the past, it takes millions and millions of data points and runs through AI, real-time AI, to get predictive analysis on what a stock might do next. So I can look, what does the next day look like for the stock? You could see Tesla, it's saying like 2.5% or 1%. And you would be able to go over here and you'd be able to look at, for example, Tesla, and you could look at it and be like, oh, let's see, what did it do today? And you're like, oh, it went up a little bit. And then it's like, oh, it's saying that it's down, and maybe that 3% would make sense. And this is predictive technology based on real-time data. And so ideally we'll be able to go through here and have all that data run from millions and millions of data points down through a quantum computer to get just one or two answers that could go down to basically predictive percentages in the future. And so I'm telling you, I'm personally looking at this tech. I'm looking at quantum computing, and then you can see Microsoft is building programs. IBM's already in it. NVIDIA is teaming up with a lot of these companies. One of the biggest indications you could see would be like if we went to Microsoft Azure right now, we would see that they have quantum computers. You can see some of the companies that are involved. You got IonQ that you can tap into and use through the cloud on Google Cloud, on Microsoft Azure, and on AWS here where we are. And you can see Rigetti as well. You got QEra. And you can look at the quantum computer. They even have a promo, I believe. Look somewhere. I think it's like $500 free or something like that. You got IonQ here. You can tap in and use the quantum computer over the cloud. And so this is happening real time. And there's tools that are being developed to allow you to run millions of data points into these quantum computers. Another one that was really cool was called QBraid. And QBraid specialized in specifically you can see they're working with like Ohio State. They were also talking on the same stages with Microsoft, with IBM, IonQ at CES. But you see quantum computing companies, they got some, you see NVIDIA GPUs on QBraid. I don't know how developed their site is, but what I could tell you is their whole mission is to quantum ecosystems. How do you code with the CPUs, the GPUs, the QPUs, put together projects that allow you to utilize quantum computing into your projects? And yeah, I mean, it's happening right now. You can see some of their partners where they're working, some of the research centers. You can see that, and so I bring that to your attention because it's happening right now. You could start an account, you could get in and start using their software that's being developed and is improving with quantum computing. And so we'll see how it goes. I again think if we're looking at the quantum computing space as a whole, there's a little bit more of a bullish uptrend we'll have to see. I mean, it's just what has to happen for us to really have indication of a reversal. You can see right here, there's the resistance, and then here's some support. It is bearish, and it looks like, oh, that's great, but maybe it sells back down, and it's quite possible that that could happen. What we'll be looking for is potentially a dip buy or a nice trading opportunity over on probably in intraday tomorrow at market open. If you guys would like to watch me trade live tomorrow, we have Stock Me. It's that second link down below, and there we have traders and investors. If you'd like to surround yourself with other motivated, like-minded individuals, again, it's that second link down below, and our current sale is huge. I would encourage you to simply take a look. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you all. Do hit that like button if you enjoyed, and I earned it, and do consider subscribing. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.